Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another Alliance live show number 8. It's our second month, so we're going to have our 2-month anniversary here today with a special group of people. We have some of the huge, actually a lot of the huge, and a lot of stuff to talk about. So, welcome everybody. Glad to have everybody back here again for another great show. We got a lot of stuff to cover today. Obviously there's been some new things added to the game, and we're going to get right into those things here in a few moments. But first and foremost, let me introduce the people that we have here on the show with us today. We have with us McLeod.
Hey, how's it going?
McLeod, welcome. Thanks for coming on the show, and thanks for everything you do. And we also have today Cheeky Cutie, who is
hey guys.
Super excited.
Super excited. Happy 2-month anniversary.
Happy 2-month anniversary. We've got Talon.
Yeah, hello.
Talon, what's going on? And we've got last but not least, Champ. How's it going, buddy?
What's up? I am just honored that you guys let me stick around with my amazingness. I just can't help myself.
I don't know. Sometimes, I wonder myself why you're still here. But, great stuff. No, I'm kidding. But thanks for coming down. And again, we got a lot of stuff to cover today. So let's dive right in. First thing we want to discuss is, of course, Ahsoka Tano, Fulcrum, has been added to the game, or is going to be added to the game. A lot of footage has been released today from some of my fellow game changers. I actually have a video that'll be coming on or being posted a little bit later this evening. Didn't get a chance to do it. It was a very busy day today, but definitely looks really cool. She's got a ton of great abilities. She's got a ton of damage that she does. Did you guys get a chance to check out what she looks like?
Yeah, she looks cool. Awesome. Like, her moves look cool, but she also looks cool, like physically, appearance-wise.
Let's excited. Dive into her moves. I might get another. Well, let's not go there. But it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, I thought she looked great. The character model looked great. I'm a big fan of Ahsoka, so I've been using the Padawan Ahsoka in my Jedi teams for a long time in the past, and now I was always wanting an adult Ahsoka to come into the game, so I'm glad that's finally come. But she's got a ton of great abilities. I think our glorious Talon here actually was able to put together some artwork for us. Is that up on the screen yet?
So here we go. If you want to have a look at that, you can see exactly what those abilities are and the very cool model from, I believe that's Rebels.
Yeah, she's from the Rebels show. That's where she came in her adult form. Have you guys ever seen that show?
I haven't watched Rebels yet.
It's a great show. It's got a lot of cool elements to it. You have Darth Vader in the show. Ahsoka obviously makes an appearance in the show, and there's a lot of tie-ins to the Clone Wars characters, and also there's some cool characters that are new or specific to this show, like Ezra Bridger and Kanan. Two Jedi, kind of makes you wonder where they're going to go, because towards the end of the show, they're getting very dangerously close to where A New Hope is, and in A New Hope territory, there are no more Jedi. So you wonder what's going to happen to these main characters on the show. So it's really interesting. But going back to Ahsoka here, just taking a look at her abilities, her basic attack, physical damage, she gains protection up and gives an ally protection up to 40%. And that may refresh on each attack. Now, with her special attack, Meditate, she gains foresight and copies all non-unique buffs from allies for 2 turns, and then gains 50% turn meter for each buff. And that's a really, really great ability. Did you guys get a chance to see that ability?
Yeah.
That's really important because of her next ability that you're about to go over.
Right, because she gets to, deal more damage with her next ability, Whirlwind, which is consume all buffs on Ahsoka, and deal physical damage, score an additional hit for each unique buff consumed, up to 11 hits. I'm not sure if it's actually capped at 11 hits now. I've heard some varying information on that, but with Zeta, it reduces the cooldown, and it can't be evaded, plus minus 50% armor. So she's going to do a ton of damage with that attack if she's getting 7 or 8 buffs, or 6 or 7 buffs, from the rest of her allies. So, I've seen her straight up take out like full characters with protection and health. I saw her take out a full base in one of the videos that I looked at. Did you guys see that?
I did. It looked insane.
It's nuts.
like 880,000 in a tank raid in one of the videos I watched. 180K just by herself. Crazy.
That's
heroic.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage. She can just hit really hard. She hits pretty hard with her basic too. I've seen like 18K, 19K with her basic on a crit. And the really cool thing is this: probably the coolest thing of all is her unique, which is Perseverance. Ahsoka is immune to damage over time effects, and at the end of each turn, Ahsoka dispels all debuffs on her and loses 14% health for each debuff dispelled, and heals 5% for each buff on her. This damage cannot defeat Ahsoka. Now, she actually she basically dispels all the debuffs on her every single turn, and it's not just every one of her turns; it's every single turn in the match. So once she gets a debuff, the next character that goes, she's going to lose that debuff. So she's basically never going to have a debuff in the game.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy. I don't know. For I'm just starting to really think about theory crafting with a character like this, but obviously she's got a Rebel synergy. What do you guys think would be a real good team to put her in?
So we were doing some theory crafting earlier, and we thought a General Kenobi, a Chase team would be disgusting on her. Chase and Troop, a bunch of different buffs all the time. They're constantly buffed, and General Kenobi, for the same reason, constantly buffed, would give her some killer damage.
Yeah, if she was on a team with a team that gave a lot of buffs, like the Phoenix Squad, or maybe even I'm thinking, like a Rogue One squad, with maybe like a Zeta, Cassian, K2SO. She's going to get a ton of buffs, just to start the game. So, and like I said, she's also going to, she's going to get a ton of turn meter. She's basically going to go twice most of the time when she does that ability, because she's going to get almost 100% turn meter if she has a couple of buffs. So, she's going to constantly doing that ability. She's going to do a ton of damage, either being called in for an assist or When she does that special attack. I'm looking forward to seeing what that looks like here. But I remember it just does a ton of damage. Now, I think that she, unfortunately, isn't going to be able to help a Jedi team a lot. But again, being that the Rebels are probably the biggest faction in the game, I mean, there's going to be a huge, value to adding her to pretty much any Rebel squad. Maybe even R2D2 as a great option. Just looking at this here, oh my goodness, it's so much damage, and it's crazy. But I'm just looking forward to seeing what other characters she's going to work well with. I mean, do you guys have any opinions on maybe what you think is the
So the biggest thing that I'm looking forward to is those of us who are non-heroic tank faced with great pain, especially for newer guilds that are doing their heroic tank. Ahsoka is a destroyer. As I was telling you earlier, I seen a part because
I think the audio from the video loud.
Sorry.
I think the audio from the video with Ahsoka is a little loud. You may have to lower the audio.
Sorry, so
nobody can hear us talking.
People who are doing Phase 2 on new heroic grades were having trouble with Phase 2 because Phase 2 is really hard. She's a Phase 2 Slayer. To the video where she does 880k, which is just absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I think that she's definitely a very interesting character. I think that she's got there's a ton of different squads I can already think of that she'd be great in. Especially maybe a wedge-led squad, maybe a Rogue One squad, a Phoenix squad. Obviously you could throw in, different combinations of all different rebels. Lando maybe should be good with. I don't know. I mean, I'm just thinking to myself that there's a lot of different options. Maybe even somehow she brings back Akbar. But
this is a sign of things to come. If they're heading more in that direction, there's a lot of things they can do both with ships and with various other content that is from that Rebel series. I would be pretty excited to see.
So, any other thoughts on Ahsoka? You guys looking forward to getting her? I mean, what do you think? What do you think? I mean, would any of you guys spend money to get her?
I think it's really going to depend on how they roll her out. Whether it's going to come with some new content or just a new event, like we've seen, where they just roll it out over a few days and basically get it for free, and then you're stuck with leveling her up. We're just going to have to see what they do with it.
Yeah, I mean, if she's a premium character, I find it being, I find myself, having a hard time paying for that. But I mean, as soon as she becomes farmable, I think even in the shipment section, I'll go for it there because I think she's going to be really good. Like I think this is probably one of the better characters that's come out in a while. So
she's Nyla.
Yeah, I think she's going to be. I think she's going to be like a great character. Like you can throw in, a lot of different teams. So we'll have to see. Maybe just gearing her up at 3 stars or 4 stars might be worth it. I mean, maybe if you just buy that $9.99 pack, get her to 4 stars, gear up to gear 11, just like Nihilus was, she'll do fine. I mean, she's going to be dispelling all of her debuffs, so she's not going to be getting a ton of damage from that. She may be a great character to have. Like I said, like in a Rogue One squad or something like that. So we'd have to see. But yeah, I'm excited. Definitely excited about that. Now, did you guys hear about the Tarkin rework?
From what I heard, it was supposed to make Tarkin at least decent.
Yes, that's what I heard as well.
Yeah,
I don't know much. I heard a lot about Tarkin. I don't know how much you want me to go into detail, but I heard he was supposed to at least be viable, considering how trash he was before.
I don't know if the actual abilities have been released yet or anything. I may have seen some data mined info or something, but I saw a post that said that Tarkin was going to be getting, I believe, a 100% chance to remove turn meter on his special ability, and he's going to get
potency.
He's going to give 30 speed with his leader, and then it's like he's going to be inflicting speed down and offense down or something like that as well. I could be wrong about the debuffs here, but I just remember a couple of different things about it that made him a little bit better. But I don't know if it's going to be enough to put him over the top and make him like a viable leader or anything like that. Somebody you can.
There is one like really cool, interesting thing that I noticed about like what people are talking about is this ultimate firepower that he has. That they changed that apparently. You know, the one that takes away the turn meter. So its offense is like based on how much potency he has, and apparently his basic gives him 50% potency that stacks. So if you can get like 4 or 5 good basic shots in there, you might be able to wipe out an entire team with an ultimate firepower.
Well, he's going to also. It says Affinity says here it's defense down on Tarkin's lead, so he's going to inflict defense down, and he's going to give 30 speed. So I don't know. That sounds pretty interesting to me. I think it could be cool, but I just don't think it's going to be good enough to make Tarkin a viable leader in in comparison to, let's say, a Maul Zeta or anything else really. Even a Rogue One team, a Wedge team. I think any of those teams would take that out. But
he would be better under a leader that would give him more potency or make him more
like Palpatine.
Yeah, like a Palpatine. That would make him pretty disgusting.
The real problem with Tarkin also was the amount of damage that he did. I mean, some of his abilities he could have maybe dealt with, but it's like he was really squishy, and on top of that, he didn't do a lot of damage. I mean, his AOE attack didn't really do any damage. His basic really didn't do any damage. He was really kind of weak. So I'm hoping whatever adjustments they make to his abilities, that they also increase his damage significantly. I'm hoping that they make him hit hard, because that would make him useful in any way. I mean, you could use him a lot more just because of the more damage.
Right. And I mean, let's throw out there the fact that most of us, I would assume, have him decently built for the Zeta challenge.
What about you, Cheeky? How's your Tarkin, Cheeky?
He's sitting on 7 stars, and he's gear level 7, I think, or 8. So, if he turns out being insanely good, I could throw some more gear at him, I suppose.
Are you currently in the process of pimping your Tarkin?
No, I'm currently in the process of pimping my General Kenobi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's a big process.
Yes, yeah. Threw a couple of 100 Carabantes at him today.
Okay. So, what do you think? I mean, do you think Tarkin, from what you've heard so far, it's going to make you kind of want to switch gears to start working on Tarkin right away? I mean, is that really exciting to you?
No, I'm not yet convinced until I see it really working magic.
Okay, so Affinity wrote it here in the chat. It says his damage and defense will be increased based on potency, which is an interesting mechanic. He said ultimate firepower deals special damage to all enemies with a 100% chance to remove 50% turn meter, gains offense equal to double Tarkin's potency. Okay, so does that mean that when you're doing that attack, you're going to deal that much more damage because of the potency? So, for example, you had 100% potency, you do 200% more damage on that attack, because that would be pretty sick.
That is my understanding. I read it. Yeah.
And then his Callous Conviction unique is gains defense equal to 100% of his potency. Zeta gains 20% potency per debuffed enemy. So if you have a full debuffed 5, you're going to gain an additional 100% potency. So that'll also increase the defense. So, I mean, that's pretty interesting, So, if he's going to gain that much more offense, that could really make him, more powerful. I don't know. Again, He's also a very slow character. I think his base speed is 114. So even with that 30 speed, I mean, you'd have to really mod him up amazingly to make him fast enough. So I don't know. It's interesting though.
Basic also adds to his potency until you do his ultimate firepower. It's like 20% per every basic until you use ultimate firepower. And that is why I thought he would be pretty disgusting under a Palpatine lead.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see. I mean, it sounds really interesting on paper right now. I don't know if it's going to translate into success in Arena, but it could be a great team for something else. It could be a great team for Galactic War. It could be a great team for the Raid. Or maybe he's just a great support character because of this. We don't know how the applications will change his viability, but still pretty interesting. Any other thoughts on Tarkin, guys? Anybody else have anything else they want to share?
This is a random thought that I just thought of. We could put him in a Palpatine Phase 3 team, sub out TFT.
That makes sense.
If he's going to do that much more damage for potency, if you mod him right, he could be disgusting.
It's definitely an idea, So I mean, I have him at gear 10, 7-star. I just I'm gonna play the wait and see game and see how other people like him, and if it's worth it, then I'll just. I mean, I've been farming some of the gear that I need for him because just in case he ends up being really great. I mean, I'm just like 2 or 3 gear pieces away from a gear 11 Tarkin. So I mean, it may make sense to just do that because I have a lot of other Empire characters. I also have a 7-star Death Trooper and Krennic now. So. Maybe he works great with them. I mean, who knows? So I'd be interested to see because anytime you're talking about a new Empire leader that adds speed, it's something you want to think about. But again, can you mod him fast enough to make him viable on any team at a 114 base speed? I mean, they're not getting any turn meter like the Sith do, so that just makes it kind of tough to compete with speed. But the defense, though, if that really increases the defense so much that he's taking significantly less damage, then that changes the game too. So, we'll have to see. But
probably more excited about the other new character we're talking about because if you want to have a look at the damage that Town was talking about, just check out this screen. So that you got the 850,000 damage just from Ahsoka on that by herself within that team. So that's probably more what I'm heading towards if there's going to be new characters to throw more gear and stuff on.
It's pretty interesting. Yeah. Wow, it's a lot of damage. Yeah, I mean, Ahsoka looks like a great character. I mean, R2-D2's got his utility. It's definitely an interesting squad. But I think that she's going to be somebody that you're going to immediately plug in, and you're going to be able to use her in raids, arena. I mean, everything. She's going to be Nihilus, 2.0. I mean, so I think she'll be all over the place. And, the thing is, again, she'll be hard to get at first. And then, over time, people will start to get her slowly. But I think you'll start to see some Gear 11 Ahsokas, probably in the first couple of days, with people just trying to get her into arena or whatever squad they can as fast as possible. But, I've been doing it too. I mean, I geared up my Ezra Bridger, got the 4 stars. I did the same thing with Krennic and Death Trooper, and then I waited until they were farmable somewhere. So, I may do the same thing here with Ahsoka too. I mean, I'm definitely going to do that. So, but any other thoughts?
Yeah, I'm just keeping my fingers crossed that she's viable at 3 or 4 stars where we can get her easy enough.
What I think you should do is you should start a GoFundMe for your Ahsoka.
That's another idea, yes.
Please help Cheeky Cutie attain her Ahsoka. She's been a Ahsoka fan since 2007, and she's very, very excited for the new character. Please don't make me empty-handed. But yeah, I mean, definitely cool. So I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what we can get her and what we'll be able to do with a 3 or 4 star Ahsoka. You know what I'm saying? But so moving along, I think we have. Is there any other news this week that we need to cover? I think we pretty much got most of it. Was there anything else in the way of bug fixes or anything else that I'm missing here?
Oh,
Didn't seem to be that much
we
going
can't
on.
solo the raid anymore.
Oh yeah, the Zeta
That
finally
Zeta
took effect. That's been fixed.
We're all brokenhearted.
Oh, so you can't solo the raid anymore?
No, it's over.
Okay. All right, so I mean,
they actually fixed what was broken with it, with the extra turn meter beyond phase 1. Basically, you were getting a 40% turn meter reduction rather than a 20% turn meter reduction.
Okay.
So that just made it super easy. I mean, you could just put it on auto and just watch it go, right?
Yeah,
it's not that reliable anymore.
I kind of feel bad though, to be honest with you, because I was one of those guys that I mean I thought about Zeta-ing Vader just because of the solo. So I mean I thought to myself like like I didn't Zeta Vader because I held out because I was like I decided to do Maul first and Nihilus and then I started to go into Rogue One characters and now I'm Zeta-ing R2D2, right? But what I'm saying is that I thought about it just for the raid purposes. So, if I had done that and I didn't use a Darth Vader lead in arena or anything, it would have been just a waste of a Zeta. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people that are in my same boat here that probably did make that decision, and they just Zeta'd Vader for the purpose of getting through the raid, and now that's not possible anymore. So I feel 50-50 on it. I think yes, I don't think any one character should help you be able to defeat an entire raid. I mean, that should be accomplished by a team. But I also don't think that if you purchase that Zeta or equip that Zeta because you knew that it was an automatic to get solo in a raid, then that's disappointing.
Now, I'm not saying that you cannot solo, like it's impossible to solo right now with the Zeta. It's still possible. It's just gonna take some work. You're not gonna be able to just throw in 4 characters with Zeta and just hit auto. It's not gonna happen anymore.
All right. Well, I mean, I don't know how it is because I don't have a Zeta Vader yet, so I mean, I don't know whether it's still possible or not. But
I ran it for the first time today with the new fix. I made it into into phase 3. I think it was 50% in, and then all of a sudden I had a bad little bit of RNG, and it didn't proc 3 times in a row, and that's it. I'm dead.
Crazy.
He throws down and he eats someone, and it's like, oh, come on, man.
Yeah, Vader is an interesting character. I mean, how's your TIE Advanced?
My TIE Advanced, actually, I just got him to 6.
Okay.
Recently, so anytime it pops up, I click that buy button.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like I said,
it seems to be a slower grind. I think I'm up to almost about 30 out of 100. Okay. To get that 7th star.
Yeah, it's tough to get those shards, but yeah, I mean, he's got. I thought the Zeta lead was great when it first came out because it was just awesome in arena for a little while, but then you quickly found counters to it, and the real. Like I said, the real shame here, I think, is that if you invested in that Zeta for the raid itself, you're kind of like in a spot here where it's like, all right, and now I'm not really getting that benefit anymore because you're not going to want to go through. The only reason I even thought about it was because I heard you could just literally put it on auto and just auto through it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like if now I can't do that anymore. I wouldn't want that Zeta. There's a lot of other better Zetas than that. So I mean, I don't think it's as big of a change as, let's say, what happened to Barriss Offee or anything like that. So I don't think they'll reimburse the Zetas, but yeah, that is a bummer. So yeah, any more thoughts on Vader, guys? Anybody else want to chime in?
I heard that it makes it a little bit harder to solo still, but it's still soloable if you have the right team. They're fast enough.
Yeah, there are mixed feelings in the the live chat, people are saying, I want my Zeta back, and other people are saying, I've still soloed the thing. So I guess it'll just take quite a bit more work for those of us that can't do it anymore.
Right.
But I don't know if I can be
kind of-
bothered, to be honest. I seem so far away from being able to do it again.
Well, I mean, there's still 3 other options where it takes work, but you can solo a raid. There's the Jin option, and then you've also got the old school. Was it
Tebow?
Scarith? It was a Pathfinder, or was it no Dengar? Sorry, it's Dengar, wasn't it? So you have other
Dengar
options where
with
you
his
can
little tenacity thing, but
so you can essentially do it. It just means you actually have to play the game, which for some people I know is a foreign concept, but there you go. So, and it also solves the problem within certain guilds where at some point now everyone can just solo the raid, and the order is decided arbitrarily by your player ID. So that's kind of, you don't have to come up with a cool little system now to deal with breaking up the monotony of that. So that's kind of a good thing.
My understanding of that, though, was that they were actually putting out a fix for that in the near future where they were going to randomize it. People with the same score would be
it still might come up in things like the daily challenges for your guild and stuff. It's still randomized that way. So the fix is going to go in there, I think, across the game. So it won't only just affect the raid, it'll affect any ranking score for any of the guild activities. So that's probably why they're still going ahead with that.
well, when you
But
tie
like I said,
it
not
in
to say
the
that you
guild
can't do it.
activities, it's pretty easy because they just add up all the totals and then divide between the tied scores.
Yeah, that doesn't matter too much either.
It becomes more of a problem when you're trying to divide a year.
Yeah,
You know?
for the raid. So that, like I said, you can still do it. So there's the potential that everyone will max out at the maximum score. It just makes it's going to make it fairer when they finally put that fix in. But at least the guilds don't have to deal with the kind of try and hit this target, or everyone hold off for a certain amount of minutes, because everyone can just solo the raid by hitting auto. So that's a good thing in a way.
Yeah, it got kind of silly to a point there where, we had like 12, 13 people solo in the raid, every raid. It's like, Jesus, you know what I mean? It's like I'd be popping in like 2-3 minutes later just to get a 0 in, or something like that. And it's like, bam, the raid's done. Just like.
It's one of those. Yeah, it's just one of those kind of like problems of privilege. It's like, oh no, do you remember when 5 million was good enough to take first in a raid? It's a little insane for those at high end.
I remember when the raid first came out, when like 600,000-700,000 damage was pretty good.
Yeah,
I remember
like the goal was to clear a million.
My first
that was the big goal.
I remember like
tier 7.
I remember like in our first raid,
go in.
Like I remember like like Molly would go in and do like 700K, and it's like we'd be like, yeah, 700K. It's like, I mean, now you do that like on auto with like the worst team you have. You know what I'm saying? But it's like. It's the damage has definitely increased a lot. I mean, but we've also, the characters have also gotten better. I mean, we've gotten to level 85 since then. There's been an increase in gear and damage, and abilities have gotten more. They've gotten more progressive and also more advanced. I mean, they've just become. There's a lot of stacking offense abilities now and things like that increase your damage as well. So it's pretty interesting.
I think it's about time that they released a tier 8 Rancor. Do you think an addition of an extra tier on that would make it interesting again?
Yeah.
For those end game players.
And I think they could probably just adjust the difficulty, because remember when it was just so much more difficult to do a T6 or something, and they adjusted it down. So they could probably just adjust the 7 up to account for level cap increase and new mods and stuff.
So here's
maybe you gotta fight 2 Rancors.
Do you think we are on the verge of a power creep where if characters do not get a rework, they are no longer viable? We have seen a large release of superior characters recently. Do you think we're getting to the point where characters that have not been reworked are going to just start becoming totally unusable?
I mean, it happens over time, without a doubt.
Yeah, I mean, this might just be someone making a joke, but when people were transcribing EHS's recent revelations about Ahsoka and Tarkin, also someone in there slipped in that there might be an Ugnaught rework coming as well. So, it's not out of the question.
Yeah. All right. I guess let's move along. Now, the next, we're done with the news now, so I guess the next part of the show we're going to move on to is the meta report. So we got, any movement today? Anything?
Okay, I haven't had a look at this, so let's have a look. And obviously, everyone's favorite, Clone Sergeant Phase 1 does actually have a little increase in numbers there.
25 leaders now. Clone Sergeant Phase 1.
Yeah, it's gone up again. So, so is everything kind of proportionally. So, yep, Boba Fett's still in there at 9, right in front of Clone Sergeant. Jyn Erso still at 8. General Kenobi. Okay, and then we got a little movement. This is a little midfield pack that keeps moving around. We got General Kenobi, Darth Nihilus, Wedge Antilles, and Qui-Gon Jinn, and they're always doing like little musical chairs here. So this week, we've got Darth Vader's dropped one in favor of General Kenobi, so they've switched out positions. Qui-Gon's dropped one, and Nihilus has gone up one, and then Wedge held his 3rd position. So we're still seeing the all-powerful duo of meta counter meta in Rex and Darth Maul. So Rex still holding the number 1 position, followed by Darth Maul, which again is dropping in numbers. Now Rex is like 982 and Darth Maul's dropped to 6. So we've got like a whole 1/3 more Rex users than we have Maul, and it's slowly getting smaller in that piece of the pie there. And Wedge has actually increased his little chunk there in 3rd position. So it's a little shift, but nope, all the players still exactly the same in the world of leaders for the meta.
It's super sad to me that we are up to 25 Clone Sergeant, which ties Boba Fett. That is awesome.
Yeah, we've gone from 12 to 17 to 19 to 25. So the trend is not going away. It keeps increasing from week to week. So that's about the most exciting thing we got going on in the leaders at the moment.
It looks like Wedge Antilles is increasing a little bit here too.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that's because of the introduction of R2D2. That's probably why that's been brought on. Obviously, he's got a really good leader ability when it comes to Rebels.
I think it'll continue with Ahsoka. I think with Ahsoka coming in, I think that's going to increase more.
So we might actually have some kind of new meta rolling along with Ahsoka coming out, but it's going to be a while before that happens. But in the meantime, all the building blocks for it are there. And obviously, while everyone's experimenting with their new squads, we will see if there's any movement. So speaking of squads, let's take a quick look now at the squad members at rank number 1. And again, not a heck of a lot of movement. So I think biggest news here is Sith Assassin has dropped out in favor of Savage Opressed in the number 10 spot.
Really?
So Sith Assassin has completely disappeared off the chart. And Savage Opressed was already in there. So who's bumped? Oh no, it's like you predicted last week. R2D2 straight in there at number 8.
Yep.
So R2D2 has bumped Sith Assassin. Savage Opressed moved down into the 10 spot, and Kylo Ren fell down as well behind R2D2. So R2D2 jumps those two straight in at number 8. Darth Maul dropped one to number 7. So you basically swap places with Emperor Palpatine, who moves up to 6. Rex dropped a couple of spaces.
What's interesting is that Kylo Ren actually increased his numbers, but dropped a spot.
Yeah, we're seeing number increases week to week. So I don't know if that's just the player base or what, but there's a natural fluctuation in that. But they seem to keep rising in numbers at the moment, kind of evenly across the board. But yeah, Kylo Ren, even though he went up in numbers, still not enough for the awesome force that is R2D2 coming in there at number 8. So top 3 still exactly the same. You got Darth Nihilus at number 1, General Kenobi number 2, and Baze Mabus 3rd, and his good pal Chirrut Imwe joined him at number 4, knocking Rex down to 5, and that rounds out our squad members. So again, not much movement there, just the big news of the new entrant of R2D2 straight in at number 8.
Those people that are not using Kylo Ren do not have him Zeta'd clearly, because he, in my opinion, should be up there with Darth Nihilus, multi-usable in any team.
Which leader are you using Ren under, though? Because I'm finding him fairly easy to deal with and not getting much out of him when I'm using him myself. So
I run him under a Nihilus lead for the simple reason that my whole team is impossible to kill.
Right. And that team is?
I can read my whole team is Sith Trooper with Nihilus, and right now I have Palpatine in there for his stun, Sith Assassin, and Kylo Ren.
Right. I've run into that exact team, and as the meta plays out, proves the counter to that is the Rex team, and it's the Rex team with Darth Nihilus, General Kenobi, and Chase. So it's the exact counter to the Sith team there. So RNG dependent most of the time, but so long as you learn the order, you can take that team down fairly easily.
Truth. Rex is a pain in the butt, but
yeah. Well, that's where we're at. Meta, counter meta, or at the moment, looks like counter meta has become meta, and counter meta is now counter meta, and vice versa. So yeah, it's a close call between those two, depending on who has what at their disposal and who's managed to ramp a General Kenobi all the way up, fully geared. Same with the
also
Nihilus.
Doesn't help that Kylo Ren is awful on defense, just awful.
Yeah, that's what it is. He doesn't really use the right special at the right time. Although he can, if you didn't pay attention to him and you weren't quite maxed out, he would take out an entire team. But you'd have to have played it pretty badly. As soon as you learn how to deal with him, it's not so much of a threat on defense.
Truth.
Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So, looks like not a ton of movement, but the inevitable did happen. R2D2 did make it into the top 10 squad members. Obviously, people are just going to be trying him out now to see where he fits best and where he works. But he's just such a great character for a lot of different types of squads that he's going to creep in there and start to dominate here. I don't know whether he'll ever reach the top, but I think he'll be in the mix here for a long time. So, moving along, the next segment we have here is going to be, I believe, this week's top 10, and that's going to be done by none other than our own cheeky cutie and McLeod. What's the top 10 this week, guys?
So it's not really a top 10 specifically, but more like a collection of characters. It's a list of 10 characters for a new player. So most top 10 lists are a collection of difficult to acquire characters that need piles of gear and months of grinding to make effective. If you're a brand new player, this can make for a daunting and frustrating task. Of course, you should be trying to max out bays, but you are level 60 and can't get a single shard. These are the first 10 characters to work on to build a solid base to defeat every aspect of the game and reap rewards as your roster matures, in no particular order. So we have Lando Calrissian from Cantina Battles. The moment that Cantina Battles are available, you should 3-star the battle that drops Lando shards and farm that node until you have him completed. His leadership ability is very strong in an early arena shard, and he crushes light side battles and the Galactic War. His scoundrel tag also guarantees that you're getting everything you can out of the credit heist whenever it pops up.
All right, and number 9, B2 Super Battle Droid, which you can get from the Cantina Battles. The biggest challenge to the new player is all of those whales. People will be spending money to get an edge on your shard by grabbing Maul, Nihilus, and whoever else is the flavor of the month at the moment. They are available. B2, with his AoE Dispel and buff immunity, has countered every dominant meta since he was released, and for the new player is a huge addition, so go chase him.
Who have you got next on the list? Because it's a different order to mine.
Is it? Okay, all right. Next on the list, we've got Boba Fett at number 8. So take it away.
All right. Boba Fett from Cantina Shipments and Dark Side Hard Mode 2B. Boba Fett is an absolute beast in an early arena shard where executes and huge damage bursts are rare. He is the best early game dark side lead for dark side missions and even breezes through Galactic War and Credit Heist to maximize credits and ability mats. Farm him from the dark side hard mode to complete your daily hard mode and dark side mission, and grab him in the shipments whenever you have saved up the currency.
Yeah, we did say no particular order, so I should throw it around and mess it up. Because at number 7, we got Royal Guard, who you can get from the light side hard mode 1D. So light side hard mode battles have very little to offer until you're well into the game, and Royal Guard is a great option to complete your hard mode and light side daily missions. It is viable at 2 to 3 shards for quite some time until your shard matures, and is excellent in clearing those difficult dark side missions. You get him for free very early in the game, and you might as well use him. So, who do you think we've got next? Yes, we do. I think we're back on track now.
Woohoo, Kylo! All right, also from Cantina Battles. Kylo is the second character that you should farm from Cantina Battles, and for very good reason. He is a beast, viable for both early in the game on a fresh shard and late on an established one. Kylo is a devastating combination of a huge health pool, AoE with retribution, and single target burst.
Excellent. From Cantina Battles, so we might have changed the order up here from what you got on your list, but I'm pretty sure you can figure out who's going to come after. Biggs Dark Lighter from Galactic War Shipments. Biggs has his uses alone with an excellent assist attack that can burst down a single target in early arena action and put up big numbers on a limited Rancor run. His greatest use is when you pair him with Wedge to make him the ultimate weapon, Wigs. Add this to his general utility, that his ship is an excellent addition to your ship arena team, and you have a solid character to grow with. So at number 4, who do we think we got here?
I'm guessing Rex. Is it Rex?
No, who goes with Biggs?
Wedge.
There you go. Take it away for Wedge.
All right. Wedge Antilles from Fleet Store and Cantina Battles. Wedge has an outstanding lead, great synergy with Biggs and the rest of the Rebels, and a huge impact in the arena and the raids. Drop everything in Cantina and farm him the minute that you can. You will absolutely use him.
There you go. Although I guess you could use Rex with Biggs there. Some people are doing that with their arena teams, like we were just looking at the meta. But yeah, I think you gave it away. So here we go with Rex at number 3. From the Guild Shipments and the Fleet Store, Rex works with everyone for everything. He can be added to a Sith team to dispel and grant tenacity up, and he can be an arena leader to counter the crit teams pounding your players. And he can be stuck in almost any raid team and increase your damage. He is a long, slow farm, so get started early and keep working on him. Which means that number 2, we have...
Is it Admiral Akbar?
There you go.
Okay. From Arena Shipments. When you're first starting on your squad, a cleanse is absolutely required to put up big damage numbers in the Rancor raid by extending your Phase 1 attack and increasing your Phase 2 and Phase 3 damage. Admiral Akbar is earned through the fleet training missions and can be easily started up through your arena store, making him the simplest cleanse to obtain. His capital ship is also the easiest ship squad to develop, as it does not require Vader's ship to be effective.
Okay, and although you can't quite get his partner bays until you get to level 60, you can start working on our number 1, which is Chirrut Imwe. Is an extremely slow grind, as he may show up in your fleet store only a couple times a week. He makes the list because he is devastating at 3 and even 4 stars and counters everything your arena shard throws at you. So start working on him early and buy him every single chance you get. And then obviously when base comes along, when you hit your level 60, go after him too. So there you go, in no particular order, especially for Cheeky. That was this week's top 10 characters for a new player to farm in Galaxy of Arrows. And let's see, so no matter who you choose to farm early game, make sure you pick your path and stick to it. I think this is a piece of advice that Ramon's given out over and over again. Whether that is the path of the Jedi or turn to the dark side of the Force, Rebels for the Alliance, or Imperial scum, your worst enemy will be spreading your resources too thin and trying to Pokemon your roster. Remember, all it takes is a small band of plucky upstarts to determine the fate of the galaxy. Now, where have I heard that story before? Something about a galaxy far, far away a long time ago?
I think it was Star Trek.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah. James T. Kirk.
So I'll be that guy just because I want to be that guy. The two people on your list you can't even get until you're in your level 70 or above. B2 and Kylo are both hard. I believe Cantina 6, which is 72 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a character like Qui-Gon Jinn should be on this list because he is
But
early.
we said Lando first.
But Qui-Gon Jinn, you can get after Boba Fett out of the shipments and be a beast.
It's true.
Sorry. I had to be that guy. I'm just throwing it out there. 72 is not.
No, it's a good point. That's part of the whole thing. We have an excellent writer for this, and he can't always think of everything, so that's what we do. We throw it up there, and then we talk it out.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good catch.
So number 10 was it just said name on the screen? Was that on purpose, or was that because I guess it's like?
Did it say name on the screen? Let's roll one back and have a look.
So that was it. Said it looks like Lando was those number 10, but
he was, yeah.
So
okay.
But Lando, I think is definitely a great character to get at the beginning of the game. I think just looking at the list here, I mean Kylo Ren. Obviously now, I mean a year ago we wouldn't have said Kylo Ren, at all anywhere near this list. But Chirrut just does so many things. Baze is great too. But Wedge and Biggs add so much to the game. I mean, there's really a lot of these characters are great. I mean, Akbar obviously because of the ships. B2 is really an interchangeable character. I mean, most of these characters are all the interchangeable characters that you can use on any squad, pretty much. I mean, you could throw a Wedge and a Biggs in there with a Rex Leader and Baze and Chirrut, and you'll be fine. That's a good team. You could throw a Boba Fett lead out there with Wedge, Biggs, B2, and Royal Guard, and that might do it. Some of these characters they're really interchangeable characters.
Yeah, like I said, the only two things would be the two guys that you don't get till level 72. During the meantime, you could run like a Qui-Gon Jinn, Stormtrooper Han. If you don't want to get Royal Guard, is another good early game character as well option.
Okay. All right, let's. Now we don't have Maurice with us this week to do the Q&A, so I'm just going to go back through the questions as far as I can, and we'll ask.
There have only really been a few questions in the live show chat, anyway.
Oh, you've got a few questions. Okay.
There's only a few. Kuzo wants to know if we know when the R2 event is coming back.
No, that's again going to be kind of like Palpatine, where they're going to keep us in the dark on that. I'd expect maybe probably right before the end of the year. Probably 4 or 5 months at least.
Yeah,
I'm going to say earliest 3 months from now.
Yeah, I'd say like a 6-month gap.
It said very
I wouldn't expect it before 4 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't expect it
at a minimum
till at least like middle of the fall, something like that. We'll see.
I mean, there's going to be enough action at the time from the new movie. We're probably not even going to remember this R2 guy.
There'll probably be stuff going on here. That's true. Now, if you want to play the Ahsoka footage again while we do the Q&A, that's cool too. So at least they can watch something on the screen here. Now, let's see here.
Keyboard had a couple of questions.
Any other questions?
Firstly, for all the panel, Keyboard wants to know who would rather own a TIE fighter or an X-Wing.
All right, Ramon, TIE fighter, X-Wing.
I gotta go X-Wing, man.
Oh.
All right. Cheeky?
I'm X-Wing as well.
All right. Champ, what do you got?
A TIE fighter, I will evade all day long.
Talon?
Okay, Talon.
No plane. No. No ship.
No Nintendo.
He doesn't want to make his opinion known for fear of critical.
He's secretly building a whole Death Star in his basement, so he's not tipping his hand.
Yeah.
And what is a viable gear level for R2 so we can run him in arena?
Depends on your shard.
Good point.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, just generally speaking, probably gear 10.
Yeah, unless you're in a really new shard, then you could probably get away with something a little worse. But that's usually a safe bet for most characters, just 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, R2 definitely probably, he's a pretty tanky character, so I mean, you could probably use him at gear 10. But it also depends on your star level. It depends on a lot of that stuff. I mean, if you have a 5-star R2, then I would suggest he's probably not going to be viable until you get him to gear 11. Yeah, I mean, so something to factor. It depends on the shard, depends on the star level, depends on a couple of things. But all right, next question.
Those are the only 3 I picked out. And could
So I got another question. I forgot who asked. I apologize, but they asked, "What are your opinions on the nerfing of characters and the refunds of Zetas? How frequently do you think that should occur? Do you think Vader qualifies for one?"
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think anytime they make any change in the game that affects the Zeta, especially considering how expensive Zetas are right now, because they're not necessarily the most plentiful resource in the game. They're probably the hardest resource to get right now. So I would say, yeah, I mean, if you're going to change a Zeta that affects the viability of a character in any phase of the game, I think you should at least offer the opportunity to exchange or to have your choice to re-equip that Zeta if you want to. Because I don't see how it really affects the. I don't see how it really affects the Capital Games or EA in any way. I mean, I don't know how long. I mean, if it's difficult to do that, maybe no. But I mean, if it's something where it's just a matter of saying, okay, let's just return all the Zetas for Darth Vader, then I mean, I'd say, yeah, why not? I mean, let them choose whether they want to do it again or not.
I mean, I think the issue with the Barasafi thing was that it happened real quickly after Zetas came out, and just around the time when everyone managed to get together their first 20 and decide which one they wanted to put on. That was around the time they decided to nerf her. So you probably only got maybe at best a couple weeks, if you're lucky, out of Barris. Whereas Zeta, if you put it on him, you've had time with him. You've soloed plenty of raids. You've crushed a few arena shards until Nihilus came along. You've had your value out of him. I think at this point it's a little too far in to start refunding on that kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that makes sense too. So I don't know. It could go either way.
We got a lot of different questions on the Ahsoka event, and I'm not sure if any of us have more knowledge than you guys do. So we don't have much information or intel on how she will be released or how she will be put into the game, unless someone else can speak to that.
No, I'm assuming she's going to come out at some sort of an event. I'm not sure whether it's going to be, like a marquee event or anything like that off the top of my head. But what I do know is she's coming. She should be coming really soon. So I'm just waiting to get that update and find out, when and how we're going to get her. But she looks really cool.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody else was asking us, how did we come up with the name Alliance? And were there any other choices besides the Alliance that we were considering?
Well, that actually kind of happened. That actually kind of happened based upon a vote. So there were a few other options. I remember, we tossed around A New Hope for a little while. That was the original name of the Discord, was A New Hope. And then I really hardcore petitioned against that because I just didn't want to be a part of a group called A New Hope.
Me too. Just saying.
I was just like, I don't listen. You know me. So, I mean, I was in there every day. Like, guys, I will not be in this group if we call it A New Hope.
It works for about as long as it takes to say it one time, and then it wears real thin.
I'm going to Team Instinct. Okay, I'm leaving. Okay, we're not doing this. And then no. We ended up. I actually suggested. I'm not trying to take credit here for anything, but I actually suggested the alliance, and then it kind of stuck. It was like we started making like some logos for it and some artwork for it, and just kind of stuck. People just started sticking with that, and then we had a vote for it, and the majority voted for that to be the name. So we had about 3 or 4 of the choices, and we did a survey. So
we'll just go through it and see. We have a very intricate process for decision making, and this ended up winning after various discussions on it. But yes, Fremont's right.
Oh yeah, I mean, being that we made this adjustment from Team Skunk into the Alliance, and that most of our decisions in Team Skunk were made from a small group of people or one person. When we came to the Alliance, one of the main things was that we wanted to have diversity in decision making. So we have like a full group of senators that vote on everything that happens, whether a guild comes into the Alliance or not, or when we're going to when we're going to change anything in the Discord, or anything that gets done in the community is all voted on, and it's all in the open. So I mean, it's all open for discussion, and we usually we have our our disagreements and our agreements, and but it's a much better way than just letting one or a small group of people decide what's going to happen. At least it gives everybody an opportunity to feel like they're part of the decision making process too. So if we make any mistakes along the way, it's a good thing. But moving along to the next question, I have one here that I saw. Goldman 77700 asked, Savage or Zidius? What do you guys think?
Who's the leader?
It doesn't say.
Okay, so under certain leadership, I would recommend Savage. Under certain leadership, I would recommend Sith Assassin. If you're talking about Nyla specifically, I'm assuming that's what you're referring to. I would go with both. That's my answer.
Okay. Anybody else have an opinion?
I think they both, when I've come up against them, they're both equally annoying until you figure them out, and depending on the comp. But I wouldn't say one's better than the other. It's really comp dependent on how annoying they are. But they're both just as easy to kind of get around. The only thing with Zidius is he's major squishy, so he's very easy to take out. Savage, he survives a bit longer, and he will survive long enough if you're not paying attention to one-shot one of your characters with his giant special. So, especially if they're alone on energy, he'll just take them right out.
Yeah.
So you got to be wary of that. Yeah, both just as annoying. It's going to be what your roster is and what you're aiming to do, really.
I think Savage has more team comps he's viable with. Sidious is locked into a specific niche, a specific niche. Specifically, I think you can throw Savage on a various number of teams, and his special does a good amount of damage. If you're half full, he can just eliminate a character, which is pretty viable on a couple of different teams.
Yeah, and he's one of the coolest looking characters in the game. Thrown up here.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, his battle armor. I think we had a kind of jokey discussion about who's the best dressed in the game a while back, but he's got to be up there.
It's Count.
He's going to be up there. I had a thought about that. It's not Count Dooku.
Count Dooku is the most dapper person in the game.
Okay, let's have a look at Count Dooku here, right?
Oh
Count
my God.
Look at it. It's the cape. You're saying it's the cape?
Oh my God, he just looks so professional. I mean, he looks.
I'm gonna quote The Incredibles to you. No cape. It's just okay. Fine. He looks pretty cool. But I got all right.
I'm just saying.
In terms of cool factor,
best dressed Count Dooku. Yeah, I'm saying.
Okay, if you're talking about like best dressed at a formal wear party, then maybe. But if we're talking about just
shoulder pads, man. You got to think about that.
All right, here's my submission. If we're talking just about cool points, let me get this. I can't remember. Oh, he is a Scoundrel, so it'll probably be easy to find here. Cool points all around in the Star Wars universe, and just look at that outfit. Look at that, Cad Bane. That's a cool outfit.
Yeah, Cad Bane does have a cool outfit. Yeah.
Look at that. He's not quite got a cape, but he's got that really long kind of half duster with the split down the back, so that's all flowy. So you got your cape-like aspects there. He's got giant, big old shoulder pad protectors for kind of like the dust cover for that duster. Two gunslinging
fills it for me.
badass kind of space cowboy. And if, like you said, if you've watched Rebels or you've watched
Cad Bane is a man purse.
That's not a man purse. That's probably like an ammo cache. He's a scoundrel. He's a thief. He needs somewhere to put his ill-gotten gains.
He does have a purse. He does have a purse.
We're probably gonna have to come up with some kind of fashion segment for.
Oh yeah, he's totally in the fact. He's got a purse that goes around his back like that. It's like a.
All right, here we go. Let's have a close look at this purse. Let's hold it here. All right, let's get everyone's opinion. Send in your opinions in the chat. Right, is that a man purse or is that a satchel or ammo bag of some kind?
It's a purse.
I mean, if you were a dude caught wearing that, you definitely call it a satchel. You know, I mean, if you're a dude caught wearing that's my satchel.
A man bag.
It's a man bag. But I mean, he's pretty good dressed. You know, like I said, I think Dooku. You know, I know Talon. You know, loves the way old Doc is dressed in those tentacles. You know?
Old Doca. All right, we're reaching now.
Oh, someone asked us if we could filibuster as senators.
Yeah.
Yes, technically, the true essence of filibustering. Yes, we can do that.
We can do that. Yeah. But we have another question here from the fans here. It says, if you were from New Zealand and happen to be a female and you played Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, would you do a face reveal on the live stream today?
Oh my god! You're so embarrassing.
This is not from me. This is from keyboard.
Oh, sure it is.
Keyboard's very creative. Okay, so this is her question. No, but we don't have a roster review this week. We'll bring back another one this week. There was a lot of stuff to cover with Ahsoka and all that stuff. So are we still looking at? I think from what I'm looking at, it looks like the screen's black.
We've gone back to the video of Ahsoka just putting a serious hurting on that AAT tank.
Sim to the point where it shows how much damage she puts up, and we could just all just.
Oh, we did that earlier, but yeah, I can. If you want to see the damage screen right here, there it is.
Just huge, you know. I won't even say it, but you all know. Just it's a thing.
So, any last thoughts on Ahsoka before we
there? 846,000 damage. Just her.
It's a lot of damage.
She looks amazing. She really does.
Any last thoughts on Ahsoka? Is she now the best dressed in the game? I don't know.
She does look pretty awesome, to be honest.
She always wanted $1 million in Phase 2. She could be Bae.
Now I've always wondered, is that I've always wondered what's your guys' opinion? Is that hair that she has, or is she like a Twi'lek? Is she like Ayla Secure? Is that skin?
That's headdress.
I don't know if that's hair.
Yeah,
or if that.
I think her particular race are the ones that have those massive kind of tentacle ear, whatever you want to call them, and they put the headdress over it to cover it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's the same as Hera from Rebels, except I think Hera just lets hers fly.
All right.
She's only got the cool little pilot goggles, but she lets the tentacles out. Whereas I can't remember whether it's an order or whatever, but certain females from that race will wear some kind of headdress over their tentacle ear things.
Yes. Correct. What he said is accurate. I forget the race also.
She's a Togruta. So
there it is.
You guys better learn something. Learn something out there. So
we don't know everything, but I'm glad everyone in this chat combined might have the knowledge to figure out any Star Wars question.
Yes.
That's good.
If we don't know the answer, we'll ask somebody else who does. But no, so I mean, as far as the Ahsoka is concerned, does anybody have any last final thoughts on Ahsoka and Tarkin and Cheeky doing a face reveal on the live stream? Important topics like this.
I mean, Cheeky is my supreme leader. I'm always for that.
Yeah, of course. All right, but yeah, no. Listen, as far as the show goes, thanks everybody for coming down. We definitely appreciate everybody checking out the stream. We're gonna cut it off here, and we're gonna come back again next week. We're again gonna shoot for most likely a Saturday stream, but I'll definitely let you guys know during the week. We're gonna have another video coming out later this evening with a first look at Ahsoka. Video I was able to put together a little bit earlier, so I'll be able to drop that a little while here after the stream's done. If you guys have any questions or if you'd like to join any of our Alliance guilds, please go to www.thealliancegaming.com and follow the instructions into our Discord. You can come there to chat with us if you just want to come hang by. Everybody's welcome. You don't necessarily have to be a part of one of our guilds, but you're also welcome to join any of our groups or any of our guilds if you're looking to change where you're at right now. And we have a great bunch of people over there. As always, we're looking to build more and more heroic teams and more heroic guilds. I think we add like a new heroic guild pretty much every day. The EA Jesse interview, good question. Yes, that was actually going to be this week. I was able to get the questions to EA Jesse, and as far as that goes, he was just a little busy, obviously, with releasing the new character, and there was a lot of stuff going on. So we're going to get that for you as soon as possible. So I'm probably going to have that recorded during the week next week at some point, and then we'll have it on the show. But I definitely will get that out as soon as I can. Sorry, I know I've been promising that for a couple of weeks now, but it's definitely coming. I promise. So I definitely look forward to that. But I would expect that probably either by next week's live show or during the week, we'll post it up as soon as we get it. So. Again, thanks for coming to check us out tonight, guys, and look forward to checking out that video later. If you guys want to come chat after the show, we'll be in the Alliance Discord. But anybody else have any last words? Anybody else want to say anything to the rest of the crowd out there?
I'll just appreciate everyone checking us out for the past 2 months. We really went through this show without you guys, and hopefully you are enjoying the content. If you want to see anything else, please comment on the videos themselves and let us know. We do read our comments, and we do like making sure the shows are for you guys. So I appreciate y'all guys turning in, and that's all I got.
Okay. All right. Well, again, thanks, guys, for checking it out, and we'll see you guys over in Discord, and we'll see you next week, most likely on Saturday again at around 8 p.m. So have a great weekend, and may the force be with you, as always.